Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for joining us for our September town hall. My name is Dwayne Spencer. I'm the president and CEO of Memphis Habitat. I want to first start by thanking our amazing team for just having the foresight to think of doing this. You guys know that not a lot of people have been commuting much because of COVID, and our team, our communications team, thought it would be really important to keep our donors and board members and friends and volunteers in the community just aware of things that are going on with the organization. And so they've set up just a series of opportunities for me to share, as well as other team members, about just what's happening, and to give all of you some general updates about what's going on with our organization. We're still pushing forward and working to serve families as best we can. And so I'm just going to give you a general rundown of what's happening. I think the first thing I want to do for anybody who might be new to Memphis Habitat is just remind you that we were incorporated in 1983. If you can believe that. So we're coming up on a very big anniversary here very soon. 40 years in 2023 we'll be celebrating. And since that time, we have built 570 houses or created 570 affordable mortgages for low-income families here in Shelby County and also out in Fayette County. And so our service area covers both of those counties. And the way we make that happen is through a zero interest mortgage. That's how we create the affordability that our families need. In 2011, we moved from our Scott Street location, where I had spent most of my time, or half of my time with the organization, to here at 7136 Winchester, which is at the corner of Riverdale. 2011, and we came here with the intent of opening the Restore. And I hope that you're familiar with that. The Restore is a retail establishment that takes donated home goods, appliances, flooring, faucets, sinks, et cetera, et cetera. And we resell those items to the general public, and any proceeds go back into serving our families. This past year, the Restore had really great success and was able to actually serve one family to build a house with and for one family this last year. So we're very excited about that and very proud of their success. So it's just a general ongoing fundraiser that supports our work. So I wanted to update everybody in regard to COVID and what's been going on with our team. So as far as the Restore, we'll stay there. Last year, we did have to close the store, just like many businesses that were unessential. And we lost money, of course, while the store was closed. We were very fortunate to receive some CARES Act dollars through the county commission. And those dollars really helped fill the gap for the losses. We also were able to retain all of our team members, not just in the Restore, but also on the administrative side. So we're very fortunate to have received those dollars and not have to lose or lay any of our team members off. So very excited about that. Right now, the Restore is enjoying some new corporate partnerships and some amazing donations that are very encouraging. It looks like we'll have a great net revenue in this current fiscal year And maybe they'll be able to build 3, 4, 5 houses in the next year. We're excited to see where it goes, but they're having great success. And I encourage you all, if you love home goods, pillows, comforters, quilts, that sort of thing, then we have a lot of it. So come in and shop with us, tell your friends about it. With all of the success of the Restore, we actually have had to change the hours, surprisingly. We had to change the hours just so that we could have the ability to sort of restock and get all of the product back on the floor, so that people could have an enjoyable shopping experience the next day. And so we're now only open 4 days a week. And that's 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday, and then also Friday and Saturday. So come in and shop with us. And also, of course, donate if you have items that you think that we could use. Let's see. Aging in place. COVID definitely has made that complicated. If you're not familiar with Aging in Place, this is a program that we created or started. We didn't create it, but we started doing Aging in Place in 2015 at this affiliate. It is something that's sort of sweeping the nation. A lot of Habitat affiliates are doing it, as well as some other agencies. And the intent is to go into the homes of older adults and make critical improvements and repairs, many of them dealing with mobility and accessibility modifications in order to help the senior be able to stay in their homes, because most of them want to be there. They don't want to have to leave. And the seniors that we work with are living on about $1,000 or less a month. So you can imagine that if they need a roof, they probably can't afford to have that repaired. And so we call that significantly low income. And so we are very dedicated to this program as much as our new house build. And we've probably served about 1,000 or maybe 1,100 seniors since 2015. I'm very proud of that work. The need is very great. Of course, with COVID over the last year, it slowed things down because we did not want to go into the homes of seniors and risk making them ill with COVID. And so we took all of the necessary precautions that we thought made sense. So that really slowed things down. We served about 110 seniors in the last fiscal year, which ended June 30th. Our fiscal year is July 1st to June 30th. And so we did about 110. In this coming year, fiscal year that just started July 1st, our goal is to do about 275. So we're doing a little bit of catch up, and that probably seems like a lot. Maybe it does to you. That is about our capacity to do about between 250 to 300 with our current team members. But I will tell you, it's not enough. There are thousands of seniors in our service area, again, Fayette and Shelby County, who need these services. And so we are each day trying to attract dollars and raising money and resources to impact this aging in place, as well as new house building and home ownership. The interventions that we do, roof is usually a part of the mix. As our construction team says, it makes sense to get the house in the dry first. And so we try to address any leaks, any moisture type issues that would create damage in any other parts of the house. So probably 90% of the projects involve a new roof or an improved roof. And then we do other things like installing lever handles. So if you can imagine, the older we get, how our issues with joints and what have you, lever handles are easier to manage rather than a round knob. Grab bars and handles next to toilets and getting out of the bathtub and out of the shower, those sort of things. sometimes we will widen the door because someone has a wheelchair or a walker and they need those accessibility modifications. So those are the things we're trying to affect. The average cost of an intervention is somewhere around $13,000 to $14,000. And what our team does, our programs team, is we will raise money from various different sources. And a client might fit into only one bucket of money. They may fit into 3 or 4. If the more buckets we can use, the better we can leverage dollars and spread it out and serve a greater number of families. And so, but as you can imagine, if we get dollars from the city or from the federal government or from a private foundation, each one of those funding sources has some sort of mandates and expectations about how the dollars are used. And so we are sort of walking tightrope to make sure that we satisfy all the expectations of each funding source. And so, but it's to our benefit because we can serve more families as long as we continue to do that. And so I know that COVID has also, created a lot of isolation for seniors, and it's created a longer list of seniors waiting to be served. And so I think it was September 21st, we had our most recent call-in application for aging in place. And the phone lines were jammed because there are a lot of people wanting the service. And we know that it's frustrating. After we open up the phone lines for aging in place, I always have an applicant call or a family member call me who's been trying to get through for an older family member and be frustrated because it seems like they can never get through. And they called back in June and they called back in April. We have decided that while this is frustrating, it's really the best process. What we don't want is 500 or 600 seniors on a waiting list, and we can't get to them for 18 to 24 months. Our funding sources have deadlines on them, and certain dollars will have evaporated, and we'll be using a different chunk of funding. And we may approve a family on this day, and we need to get their work done within a certain timeline because it fits into this funding pot. And a lot can change. If we waited 18 months or 24 months, we'd probably have to do another physical assessment of the home. It could have more significant issues. And so if you know of folks trying to get through and get service from aging in place, just ask them to please be patient and know that our goal is to serve as many families as we can. But the need is so great. And it's why we are constantly seeking resources, the typical ones, and then also some unconventional to try to find additional dollars so that we can serve as many older adults out there who need it. That's our goal, and we will continue to do that. As far as home building, that's definitely looking very different. The hallmark of Habitat is seeing volunteers out on a build site. And this is going to be now the second year that we won't have volunteers showing up at the build site. And we're as disappointed as anyone. It feels strange. This is my 20th year with Habitat. And now for 2 years in a row, we're not out in our boots, in the rain, in the mud, up early in the mornings, welcoming volunteers to the build site. And it does feel strange. But our board, and I think that this is the best thing for us to do to keep our volunteers safe. And all of our sponsors, corporate partners seem to agree with that. Fortunately, we haven't lost any significant donations or corporate dollars because they also, the corporations want to keep them safe, but they also want to continue contributing to Habitat because they believe in what we're doing. And so we're still making the homes happen, but they are going to cost us more. And so the contributions will not go as far. We will have some gaps, but like anything in the nonprofit world, you continue to raise money, you fill the gaps, you find additional resources, and you just push forward. We have not reduced our goals for the year. Last year, our goal was to do 27, and we're still going to finish 27 houses. 20 of them literally got finished and closed to the borrower by the end of our fiscal year, which was June 30th. Then there were 7 more. 3 of those we have closed since the beginning of the fiscal year, which was July 1st. And now we have 4 more houses that are complete and will be closed on any day. But we're also now in the next fiscal year where we are building an additional 27. And so these families are now going through their financial literacy classes and getting themselves prepared for home ownership. As you know, all of our families are coming from a rental situation, or they're living with a relative. And there's the designation for living with someone is that you're homeless. And so we have some applicants who are living with other folks. And so they are anxious and excited and ready to move into their new homes and start this new experience of home ownership. And we're excited and anxious to get them there. And so those houses are now under construction. Of the 27, we probably have up to 20 plus of them, or 24, have some form of construction already going, even if it's minimal, like grading or foundation being put in. So those houses are definitely being constructed. I would probably estimate that the cost per unit, the additional cost is probably up to $15,000, maybe more, without having volunteers out, and then an increased cost just because it's 100% contractors and subcontractors, and what's happened in the market since COVID. We've certainly had delays in materials and supplies getting in a timely fashion. And, COVID has done something really strange with the job market, where wages have increased. And that's certainly a good thing. And we're fortunate to have a slew of contractors who've been working with us for many years, and they're committed to us. And I would figure, I'm sure our director of construction would probably say they could probably run off and get paid a lot more money on some other jobs, but we're very lucky that they're sticking with Habitat. They also believe in what we're doing, but they need to get paid, of course. But they're with us, and we're getting the work done. And so we're very grateful to our subcontractors. I don't think we say thank you to them nearly enough. Let's see here. So I want to tell you just a story about a homeowner who we're working with. So her name is Tia, and Tia is going to be buying a home with Habitat this year. All of the houses actually that we're building this year are being built in the North Memphis area. And Tia is from the area, which makes this moving into the area an easy decision for her. Also, her mother bought a house with Habitat recently, and so they're going to be living in the same area. She was referred by her mom. And so Tia's lived in North Memphis her entire life, and she's really looking forward to the opportunity, like anybody would, to create stability for her family, and to be able to have an affordable mortgage and have the opportunity to begin the wealth building process for herself. I know you all probably know that most people, especially low-income families, most of their wealth is in their home. most low-income families do not have 401ks. They are not investing in stocks. It's all about home ownership. And we are just so happy that we can continue to create these life-changing opportunities for families like Tia, who they're doing all the right things, all the right things. They want the same opportunities to create a home ownership story for their family like anybody would. And so this is what we do every day. Our work is all about the families. Hundreds of aging in place families and these homeowner families looking for an opportunity to build and buy a home. I will go back to just quickly the cost of our homes. They have probably increased 20 to 30% over the prior year. That does create some issues for the applicants because certainly the cost has to be passed on to the family. But of course, we can't sell the home for more than it appraises for. But the appraisals are actually high right now all across the city, and even with the homes that Habitat is building. But it's not necessarily keeping up with the cost of construction. And then we find ourselves with a gap. And we're fortunate to have some resources out there from agencies like the Tennessee Housing Development Agency, Federal Home Loan Bank, agencies like that that will help us sometimes fill those gaps, but not always. But we sell our homes to the families for what they appraise for. But as of late, and it's been many, many years since we've done this, we've actually had to go ahead and increase the minimum affordability standards for our applicants. And so that means that we've raised the threshold on how much the applicants can make their bring home pay. And it's been a long time since we've done that. If you don't know, our families are asked to put down $1,000 toward their closing cost. And they're also asked to save $1,000. We started doing that maybe about 10 years ago so that they have just a cushion, just in case they had not had a savings account before. One of the other things that we're having to do as of late is for safety reasons and to make our families feel comfortable. We are now putting in fences when we can. Not all of our homeowners have gotten a fence over the last several years, but as of late, we felt that it was really important in the community where we're building, and that is an additional cost. That's easily $3,500 to $5,000 per home, because the lots that we're building on are very long and narrow, and we're of course putting it in the backyard and trying to enclose the family's backyard. So that's an additional cost. And so as we're fundraising and as you're making decisions about how you can help Habitat, that is one of the things that we don't readily have the money for right now. And so if you're thinking about how you can help us, we are going to need to raise additional dollars to do fences for our families this fall. And so I just wanted to make sure that you knew that and how important it was. So let's see, where am I? Before I open it up to questions, which I want to do so that I can hear from all of you, I just want to tell you about a few events that are going to be taking place. Again, our communications team is creating this opportunity for me and other people on our staff and maybe some board members to just talk to our donors and friends and keep you all informed about what we're doing every day, how we're getting through the pandemic and still serving folks, any sort of issues and challenges that we're facing. It's just an opportunity to talk. And so they have a few other events coming up that I want to tell you about. So the next one is a virtual housewarming craft night. I know that we did something similar last night that was a big success. We're going to do again on Tuesday, October 26th. Then we're going to have another virtual town hall on Wednesday, October 27th. And then we're going to do a virtual Halloween trivia on Friday, October 29th. And I love those. I love trivia. And I appreciate my team letting me be the sort of the master of ceremonies when we do trivia. Maybe one of these days I'll be on the backside so that I can guess some of the answers. But that's all I have right now. So to the team and anybody else out there on the call, do we have any questions or anything that anybody just wants to talk about? I don't want to be the only one. Sorry, I don't want to be the only one talking. What else would y'all like to hear about? Any questions? Do we have any team members who have anything that they'd like to share that maybe we didn't mention? Anybody from construction or communications, you just want to share some insights on something that I might have forgotten? And I know that
we got a question ahead of time in the registration. Sorry about the lag there. Asking about with all of the planning and everything we're doing, all of the house building, have there been any issues or challenges with acquiring land, with acquiring lots for all of these homes that we've built and we're currently working on and we're planning on building on? Because that's a lot for us.
Yeah. So Greg, you can chime in if I leave something out, but what I'll tell you is we are always looking for land. More so, we're looking for lots. We're looking for buildable lots, primarily in and around the TIF area in Uptown where we're currently building. It is beneficial to us to build right now in that area while we are while we have a really great arrangement with the Community Redevelopment Agency. They are charged with addressing blight and home ownership in the TIF area, and TIF is tax increment finance. And so we are looking for lots in and around the Uptown area. But yet, certainly a land is also something that we can use, but it's not as attractive. We would have to develop it over years. It's very expensive. And, you know, none of our donors really find, I don't think, paying for land or infrastructure or streets and gutters very attractive. But it is definitely something that we have to invest in. And so we are always looking for land and lots. And so, yes, in the Uptown area in particular. One of the things that's occurred is there were a lot of lots available in the Uptown area at one time. And as the TIF started people started to know more about the TIF, the money that they had available to do work in the area, a lot of folks started buying up lots for, you know, really, I would say pennies on the dollar. And now they are selling them for, you know, 10 times as much as they bought them, which is outrageous. So that makes it complicated for us and increases the overall cost if we were to purchase some of those lots and have to pass that cost on to the borrower. Greg, do you want to share anything else about land?
So, well, no, Dwayne, I think you pretty much covered it. The biggest challenge is now the speculators, because the Uptown community and the North Memphis area is now looked at totally different, where it's more desirable. People want to be there, and people are thinking about 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. And so not only are the speculators an issue, now individual homeowners are saying, well, I've had 4 people call me this week about my lot, so I think I'm going to hold on for a little while and let that price rise. So we're dealing with that. And that's one of the things that nobody really talks about. But as a homeowner, I mean, that's what you want. You want your value to rise. And be more, valuable to yourself. So that just comes with the territory, and we're just going to have to figure it out with the help of a lot of people.
I just wanted to add just about our program in general. I was talking with Steve Harrington this morning, who works with our homeowners sort of on the backside after they close, to keep them in their homes and to work with them in case they have any issues on the backside, et cetera. And I had not thought about this, but one of the things he mentioned in regard to COVID is that not interacting with our families face to face has made things more difficult and just different. We pride ourselves on creating relationships with our partner families, and they are partners. And we look at this relationship as a partnership. They are seeking an opportunity to buy a home, but we're helping walk them through all of those steps to get them ready. It's not just they walk in and we underwrite and they buy and move in. It's a longer experience that generally can last, at least about 12 months, sometimes 18 months. And not being able to sit across from our families during financial literacy and answer questions directly, having to do it all virtually. And, all of these Zoom meetings, people get distracted. They're trying to watch this and they're also watching television and not really paying attention. So it isn't the same. And we miss that all around. Even in the office, we miss engaging. Right now, our team is coming in only 2 days a week. That's all we're expecting right now. And it's probably going to be that way for a minimum of the next 6 months, unless things really start to change significantly. And I know many of the corporations out there are doing the exact same thing. So we just miss engaging with everybody. Even my board members, having to do these virtual meetings is just not the same. Any other thoughts? Hey, Tamara. Anybody have any?
Hello.
Hi
Good
there.
morning.
Good morning.
I do have a question, if it's okay.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a couple. First of all, I'm an agent with Farmers Insurance and also a realtor with Cordova Realty. But I've had a couple of clients that have called me that have homes, lovely homes that you guys have built. And the issue is they cannot afford their homeowners insurance.
Yeah. We have one of the things that we've had to do, Greg and Jessica, you might remind me, it's probably been a minute. Some of the houses, especially that we built in Collierville, had very high property appraisals. And the appraised amount does have an impact on the insurance. And we had to go back to the assessor's office and try to get some remediation on that and try to get those numbers adjusted. But I don't know that we can have, we are the builder and then we sell the house. I don't know if we can have any other significant impact on helping reduce those costs. But Steve Harrington, do you have any thoughts on that to respond to Ms. Levy?
Well, yeah, she's absolutely right. Our insurance cost is going up like everything else. One of the things that we teach in our literacy classes, our financial education, is to let our homeowners know that the better their credit is, the better chance that the better rate they can get with their insurance, which I'm sure you're aware of. So we encourage them to continue working to improve their credit scores, to look at bundling their homes and their autos together to help get a lower cost. And we actually spend one night, a whole night in our classes talking about insurance and the things that they can do to get the best that they can. But we do know that that's all over the place, because when they go to get their insurance, we see it all spectrums of that. So we do know that that is an issue. And so we work with them best we can to help them get the best price that they can.
And just think about that for a minute. our program is built on not charging interest. So our homeowners are always going to have, of course, the principal and the insurance, those sort of things, taxes, but no interest. And so we can create affordability to a certain extent. And then there are those things that are really out of our control. And we still do 30-year mortgages. There are markets out there, California in particular, where the cost to buy a Habitat home is hovering around $675,000. And just think about it. And their minimum wage is not necessarily significantly more than we're paying. And I think in some of those, in markets like that, they are stretching the mortgages out to 35 or 40 years just to make it affordable. And to imagine if your credit score, any other challenges are going to make your insurance significantly higher. It's hard to, it's expensive for a low-wage person to try to get into home ownership. But at the end of the day, we certainly believe that, for the long term, it's better than renting, certainly better than renting. So there are these challenges that we have to keep working on. And Steve, thank you for those suggestions. Any follow-up to that or anything else? Anybody have anything else they'd like to talk about? Hey, Felicia Harris, Rod McClary, good to see y'all here. Thank you. Paula Beck from Wells Fargo. We really appreciate y'all. Jerome, our
Dwayne,
good to see you. Yes, who's that?
hey Dwayne, good morning. This is Alan Higdon.
Hey, Alan.
I just wanted to, hey guys, I just wanted to just post something else in there. I've been in the field the last couple of weeks with the construction department and some of the ladies from the office that were making the videos. And where we're currently working is a prime example of the beginning of how we changed the entire neighborhood. And just to follow up on some of the uptown comments and the changes, we seeded that, followed by many other things that factored in. But I look at the lifestyles that are going on in the neighborhoods that we're working in, and I see the beginning of the change and the opportunity for some of the people to not live in the conditions that they're having to live under. So I just wanted to remind everybody that in addition to providing affordable housing, hopefully we're changing the atmosphere and lives for other people that fall victim of their neighborhood.
Thank you for that, Alan. And it takes a lot of combined effort. One of them is the density of the new units that we can put into the community. Then there's also just the communication between the residents themselves and the MPD and blight authorities, using the 311 and making calls to report issues. Of course, there's the speeding, probably issues around speed bumps and all those things that our homeowners are facing. We've been having some community meetings with them, and they really are very independent. We thought that we were going to come in and run these meetings and make suggestions about what they want. I do think that if you follow the general ideology of a charrette, it's all about what the people who live in the community want for themselves and how they figure out how to solve their problems. And so when we went in with the guys that we would be doing that, they quickly said, thank you, but let us try to figure this out. And when we need you, just be there and let us call on you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's a testament to their independent spirit and to the way that Eula and Liz and Steve in our family services department engage with our homeowners to take them from rentership to being a home buyer and having that independence that's going to be necessary for the long haul. And so it's really good to see that. Anything anybody else is thinking about?
Yeah, Dwayne, this is Rob.
Rob.
McCleary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just curious, does, at times I believe the city has properties that they have condemned, or the previous owner has just turned over to the city or just gave it to them or whatever. Is that much of an opportunity for a Habitat home? Or are there many of them that exist, or is it maybe in a poor location? I'm just curious if that's an option.
It's all of those things. And, it goes into sort of, this is not a word, but the buildability of the lot. So I know that Greg can respond, but, there's a return on investment sort of analysis that we would do. The cost of acquiring it, even if it's free, if there's a house that has to be torn down, there's a cost to that, remediation.
Yeah.
A lot of times we get lots and we think, oh, it's a great deal. 3 in the last build period have had houses buried under the ground. And we have to remediate that, or we have to move to another lot to start building on it. But
Yeah.
we own that lot. And if we don't ever use it, well, then it's wasted. And so, Greg, do you have any other responses to Rob about that?
Hey, Rob, miss you.
Hey, Greg, same here.
But what Dwayne's saying is right. But the reality is those lots that were or used to be turned into the city as a freebie, they just want to get rid of them, are now being purchased by speculators and by everybody. Even if it's a bad lot, you've got out-of-state investors that are just buying up anything and everything. So when that lot goes to the city, whether it goes into a tax sale or goes into the land bank, and then it's offered for sale. And we have been involved in every one of these sales over the last couple of years where we may get into a bidding war with someone, and it starts at $500 and ends at $15,000. And then that, just because we bought a lot at $15,000 doesn't mean we can build on it because the sewer's not there. Now we've got to deal with the city sewer, and we've got to spend 15 grand to put a sewer tap in.
Yeah.
So now we've got 30 grand involved in a lot, and we haven't touched MLGW yet. The gas line's not ran. We have all these pop-up issues. And so the cost of our lots, where it used to be, we would take that lot and the city would make us a heck of a deal. We just can't get those deals anymore.
Interesting.
It's just a changed world out there now.
And we have,
what about manufactured homes or modular construction other than the stick-built model right now?
Well, that's a good question, Rob. And of course, if you do a modular built home, your volunteerism is lowered, your opportunities for volunteers. And there's a lot that goes into that. There are some really quality modular homes. I spent some time at a manufacturing plant looking at that to say, is this something that would be a good thing or not a good thing? And there's some really well-built modular homes. The cost is not going to be that much great. I mean, there's not going to be a huge cost savings by doing that.
I see.
And so that it precludes itself a little bit. But, we kind of have always prided ourselves, and we've worked with volunteers. So I don't think that we'll look at that modular unit as a long-term thing, but maybe at some point we would have a few of them come in.
Sure.
We just,
I see. Thank you.
Alicia, you've got a comment or a question? You're on mute, I guess. I don't hear you. It doesn't look like you're on mute, but we don't hear anything. Okay, I try now. No, that's strange. You are not on mute.
Your headphone must be blocking it.
Nope, no sound.
Alicia, try clicking on your mic and the arrow and check select a microphone and see if that helps.
Yeah, once you go back and forth between headphones and not, there's a little bit of a slight adjustment you have to do with your audio, Could you type it in? I don't know. Anybody else have anything as Felicia's typing? Oh, well.
Hey, Dwayne, it's Jessica. While Felicia is getting her question in or her sound fixed, I wanted to ask you a quick question for the group. Hi, everyone. You mentioned the number of houses Memphis Habitat is building this year and have alluded to our plans over the next, year or so. Do we still need applicants? Is that a need of Habitats to spread the word that applications are open and we're looking for folks to apply?
Yeah, we definitely do. We are increasing. After this year, we're actually going to try to double the number of houses that we build. Now that's a goal. It's a stretch goal. We're in the middle of building 27 houses in this year. And we hope in the next fiscal year, which will be 22-23, to double that to 45. And we have this huge opportunity with some funding support that's already been committed. So we are moving forward with that. We have the lots and density, again, is just very important. So yes, we are still looking for families since the cost of the homes have increased, that ends up making it harder to find families, that whole affordability factor. I don't know if Steve or Eula want to comment about that. Anything to share, Eula? Is there an application process or timeline or something that's coming up that you want to promote?
We don't have a particular timeline. We take applications on an ongoing basis. And I see Jessica just put the link in the chat. So if you do have questions, I'll put my email address in the chat and Liz's as well. You can email either of us, but we take applications on an ongoing basis.
This is sort of new, right, Eula? Our organization for probably most of its existence used to have these application orientations, and there would be sort of a specific way that you could apply. And there are still some steps, but we have tried to sort of come into the 21st century and make it a little more modern. And so things can be done online. There's still a video to watch, but there's some paperwork that you can do online that gets you in the loop and in the process and moving toward having an application reviewed.
Right.
We've been doing it in the past.
Right. And once they complete the online orientation, there's a 10-question quiz because we have to verify per Habitat International that everyone has attended an orientation. So once they complete the orientation, they'll take the 10-question quiz, and then either Liz or I, and occasionally Steve, will give them a call just to follow up to make sure that they were able to download the application and also see if they have questions beyond what was shared in the homebuyer orientation.
Good deal. All right. Got a couple of minutes left. Shayla, thank you for being here. Williams.
Dwayne, Felicia has typed in her question. And she wants to have you discuss a little bit more the ways that Habitat works with families to prepare them to become homeowners. Talk a little bit more about the pre-purchase bit of our program.
I'm gonna let Eula do that.
Okay, so when a family, again, is ready to purchase a home, we will, they reach out to us and we discuss, again, through the homebuyer orientation, but if they call us personally, we will discuss, what is involved in becoming a homeowner. We don't require a particular credit score, but, I always tell everybody, your credit still tells the story. So you can't have any collections or outstanding judgments, tax liens, or medical bills, things like that. And we do, if they are not quite ready to purchase, and again, we can't turn anybody down over the phone. They have to apply for us to really have a good picture of where they are. But we do work with home buyers. We've had people that we've worked with for 2 or 3 years. We have one applicant who is in the program this year. She actually started applying back in 2017, but she had some work to do and is now at that stage. So we do work with them, whether it's debt to income ratio or credit issues, to get them ready. And then once they are in the program, we do have a 12-week home buyer education program teaching them about budgeting, saving, and how to maintain their homes once they're in the home. Yes, I hope that answers your question.
Felicia, you got a follow up? Anything else? Okay. All right. Felicia, thank you. We appreciate you and your whole team at Housing and Community Development. Was just on the phone with your boss yesterday, well, Monday, with Ashley Cash. Yep. Anyone else before we close out? And I don't think I really have anything else. If Jessica, Madeline, Amy, anybody want to share anything with our friends before we close out? And again, thank you all for joining us. I really do appreciate board members showing up to these. Our board chair, Jonathan Harden, is on the call. Jonathan, thank you for being here. Our former board chair, Jerome Franklin, is with us. I'm trying to see all of the names. So we appreciate you Jerome, staying involved. Appreciate you. We miss you too.
Hey, Dwayne and Eula, we did just get a quick question from Shayla. She wanted to know about, I know this varies, but about how long is the application process, Eula?
Oh, okay, so it can be up to 18 months depending on where we are in the build. But quicker too. I mean, we've had people come in, and they have everything ready to go, and we're at the point of the build where they can be in 4 months.
All right.
So Dwayne, you asked for final remarks or anything else from communications. The one thing I would plug again, if you don't mind, is all of the building community activities that we have going on this fall. Like Dwayne mentioned, since we can't gather together, we wanted to come up with unique ways to engage with folks during this time, like the craft night that we had last night. So if you're looking to find out more about what we're doing, you can always visit memphishabitat.com. All of our events and all of the things are posted there. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Just look for, at Memphis Habitat, Habitat for Humanity of Greater Memphis. We're sharing things there all the time. And when you're on our website, you can also submit your email to be added to our email list, where you get regular communications from us about all the things that we have going on this fall, because what we want to try to do for the whole community and for the public, as well as for the supporters like those who are on here today, FedEx, IP, Wells Fargo, Thompson Machinery, Regions, thank y'all for being here. We're trying to keep everyone engaged when we're not going to be gathered together on a build site. So I know with our sponsor organizations, we're going to be doing some one-on-one communication about the progress of the build, but we're going to be sharing overall build progress and updates on families on our social media platforms too. So I encourage everyone to check us out and follow us there. And that's it.
All right. Well, if there is nothing else, I want to thank you all again for joining us and giving us an hour of your morning today. And just keep promoting Habitat and to folks that you think the program may work for, and send us donations to the Restore or come and shop with us. We've got some amazing items over there, and pray for us. And we thank you again. Have a fantastic Wednesday, everybody. Love you, Tamara. Bye, guys.